Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Christina Hibbert, author of Who Am I Without You? And now we are going to work on Thought Record Part 2. In the last video, which hopefully you've already watched and worked on, we discussed Thought Record Part 1. And you can go to my website at whoamiwithoutyou.com and download and print for yourself Thought Record Part 1 and Thought Record Part 2. These are both mentioned and described in the book, Who Am I Without You? But even if you haven't read the book yet, I hope you will. But even if you haven't, you can join us and go print off some thought records and learn how to use this excellent tool. As I mentioned in the previous video, this is one of the best things I've ever learned to do. And it has helped me through all kinds of difficult challenges. Surely it can help through relationship loss, divorce, breakups, but also through any other kind of loss, any other kinds of life challenges and stress and pain in your life. So it can even help to understand better the positive emotions, the positive experiences, and what you're doing right. So I love this tool, and I hope today we can learn how to get a little deeper after working on Thought Record Part 1. So as we recall, Thought Record Part 1, we really just kind of worked on writing down your automatic thoughts and your emotions and rating those emotions. And the whole point of that was I used to assign to my clients Thought Record Part 1 and 2. They were just one record. It wasn't Part 1 and 2. And I used to just have them go out and try to do all of it at once. But I found that it's much easier to just break it up so that Part 1 is focused just on hearing the thoughts, feeling the feelings, and separating the emotions from the thoughts, versus Part 2, where we start to go back and look at those thoughts and challenge them and hopefully alter and change them into something more helpful, more realistic, more truthful. So if we look at Thought Record Part 2, and hopefully you have a copy because I know you can't see mine too well, but again, go to my website at whoamiwithoutyou.com and print one off if you don't already have one. We have the same kind of columns as before. We have date, situation, automatic thoughts, emotion, and rating. That's the same as this. It's just a little bit squished together because we have two additional columns. So the two new columns we have on Thought Record Part 2 are the rational or alternative response, which we're going to talk about in a second, and the outcome. So the way we use this is, I suggest you start by doing just what you did with Part 1. You start by using this in any kind of situation that's difficult, challenging, where there's overwhelming emotions, where you don't understand what you're thinking or feeling, anything like that. Again, it can even be positive situations where things seem really great and you're sort of going, why is this so great today? What am I doing? I want you to write down briefly the situation and the date, just like we did before, and then list that stream of thoughts that we talked about, your automatic thoughts. And again, like I said before, it can be helpful to talk to somebody or to sit and write as you're talking to someone on the phone and telling them the story of what happened so that you can hear those thoughts, or to have somebody else write them down for you if you're really struggling. And then to write all of your emotions, as many as you can think of, because usually there are more than one, as we mentioned last time, and to rate them from 1 to 10, 10 being the most powerful, 1 being the least powerful. Then once you have a few situations down here, and you can even, if you want, once you've been through this a few times, you can use this record and then just sort of, add to these columns if you want. But what we do is we go back to your situation listed here and your thoughts and your feelings, and we start to ask, what is this true? Is this helpful, what I'm thinking? Is this rational, what I'm thinking? So for the rational or alternative response, it says, write a truthful alternative to the automatic thoughts. Now, some of our thoughts will be truthful. So let's use the same example we used in Part 1. The situation is, my ex just texted me. He wasn't supposed to do that. My thoughts involve things like that. But he's not supposed to be texting me. Why is he doing this? He's breaking my boundaries. I thought I had set some firm boundaries, and I hate when he does this. It makes me feel like I have no control. I can't handle this situation, right? These are some of the thoughts for this example. Now, the rational or alternative response, we go back to those thoughts and we one by one challenge them and say, is this truthful? Is it realistic? Is it rational? Is it helpful? And any of those words will work depending on the situation. You choose what works for you. So let's say, the first one is, he's not supposed to be calling me. I don't like that he's doing this. Well, that is a rational response. And it is rational to think, why is he doing this when we'd set this up? It is a rational response. It is helpful and truthful to say, he's breaking my boundaries. I set this boundary that we're not supposed to be having contact for now, and he's breaking my boundary, right? That is helpful because it helps you understand the truth. It's truthful because it's really what's happening. It's not blown out of proportion. You know, you could say, he always breaks the boundaries and I don't know how to stop him. Okay, that's kind of maybe more blown out of proportion. Maybe it's like, well, he does always seem to break the boundaries, but always is a pretty strong word. And do I really not know how to stop him? I guess I do know how to stop him, but I just don't want to, or I'm not ready, or I'm not sure I'm up for it. I mean, that probably feels more realistic, right? So then if we keep going down those examples on those thoughts, maybe one of the thoughts that we heard was, I can't handle this. I can't handle him doing this. I can't handle it. Now that's definitely an irrational thought, right? And it can sort of become a belief system that I can't handle my life. I can't deal with this. I'm not equipped to handle this, right? Some of us have that belief system about ourselves. Some of us have other beliefs that, you know, maybe that same situation will make you feel like nobody's ever going to love me because even this guy can't respect and love me. You know, other people might have themes of, you know, I'm worthless because he treats me like I'm worthless, so I must be, right? So these are kind of deeper core beliefs. And if we feel like we can't handle our life, let's say, that's a core belief that's going to affect us. It's going to affect how we see things and how we do things in our life. It's going to make us feel helpless when really we have options and choices. We just need to stop and challenge that thought and that belief and start working on it in order to change it. So let's say if the thought was, I can't handle this, well, maybe a more rational approach is, I can handle this, but I just feel overwhelmed by it right now. I mean, that's realistic. It's realistic and it's rational to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is a lot to handle right now. He's really pushing me and it's so hard. That's rational, that's truthful, and it's helpful because it helps you identify how you're really feeling versus feeling like it's an absolute, I cannot handle this, you know? So that's something helpful, truthful that we can use. And as we keep on, if you keep seeing themes of that coming up, let's say in that example, I can't handle this, you keep seeing yourself saying that over and over. Once you prove to yourself that you can handle it, but that it's just really hard right now, and maybe eventually you start to say, I can handle this, and I'm ready to handle this. Or maybe it's, I can handle this, I just need someone to help me figure out exactly what to do. So I'm gonna call my best friend, or I'm going to go to therapy and get somebody on my side to help me figure out how to handle this and to really keep those boundaries firm with him because I know I'm strong enough to do this. See, that feels very different, doesn't it? Than I can't handle this. I can't handle this is that emotion of panic, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, you know, whatever you want to call it. But the other version of I can handle this, but I need some help and I'm going to seek that help because I am strong enough. I know I am. I just need to know how to do it. That's kind of calms you down. It gives you something to do. It helps you know what the action is that you can take. And you can see where this can be very helpful because it changes the whole situation dramatically. And the best part is the next time you're in the situation like that and you start to hear yourself saying, I can't handle it, well, you know better than to believe it. So once you hear it, you'll be able to stop and say, wait a minute. I can handle this, but this is why I'm feeling that way right now. This is what's really going on. So you can identify the situation, kind of bring it down in emotion so that you're not so overwhelmed and just handle it the way you need to. That is the whole point of Thought Record Part 2. And then after you do the rational or alternative response, you do the outcome, which is re-rate your emotions after giving the rational response. And almost always, if you do it correctly and you take the time to really understand what you really mean and what's really going on, almost always those emotion scores go down because this is meant to help give you some relief and give you some action steps to take and help you understand yourself better and the situation better and know what to do. So I hope that makes sense. And over time, the best thing is when you get a page like this filled up with thoughts and then you have some rational or alternative responses, you can not only circle those automatic thoughts that seem to be your core, some of your core beliefs that come up all the time. Like I said, I'm unlovable. I'm worthless. Nobody is ever going to love me. I can't handle my life. These kinds of things are core beliefs that we have, and we see them pop up all the time in how we think. So as we use this, we'll see those pop up and circle those. When they keep popping up, I circle them in therapy. I go, okay, this one seems to be a theme for you. This one right here, that I can't handle my life, so I'm going to avoid it by doing this or that. You know, you have a theme of avoidance in your life, or you have a theme of thinking you're worthless. You know, we need to work on your self-worth, which is exactly what we're doing in Who Am I Without You, right? So circle those themes, and then once you find the rational alternative, that it's not that I'm unlovable, it's just that I've never been loved by someone who really treats me the way I deserve to be treated, but I know I'm lovable. I know I am. I have really good friends. My family loves me. I know that's possible, but the people I've surrounded myself with so far, they haven't shown that to me. So I need to get some better people in my life to help me feel and understand that I really am lovable. Or I need to, you know, I understand that I am lovable, that I am of value. I can see all my goodness that's coming from inside me. It has nothing to do with what these people in my life, these ex-partners or spouses, think about me, right? Once we know those things, then those become the new voice in your head. That's what we start to replace the old voice with. So when you start to think, I can't handle this, the new voice comes in and you think, wait, I can handle it. I can handle this. I am strong enough to handle this. I just need someone to help me figure out how right now. Or when you start to hear, I'm unlovable, wait a minute, I've already proven I am lovable. I'm definitely lovable. I'm definitely a good person. I know that. I just need to surround myself with some better people and keep reminding myself that I have this self-worth and no one can take that from me, right? So I hope you can feel the power that these thought records can have. Keep working on it. Give yourself at least a few weeks to work on it in writing, because it helps to also get it out of your head onto paper so you can see it and work with it like that. But then keep on working with this. I mean, I still, years, 15 years or so later after I first learned how to do this for myself, I still use it all the time. I stop when I hear a thought that I don't like and I challenge it in my head and I try to change it as soon as I can to try to prevent myself from going down the road I don't want to go down, from feeling what I don't want to feel or behaving in a way I don't want to behave. And that's what this tool can do for you. So keep using it down the road as long as you want for the rest of your life, hopefully. It can make a big difference in your life and changing how you think, what you believe, how you feel, and how you behave. And join me on my website at whoamiwithoutyou.com for more videos and tools to help you through whatever you're going through at this time. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.